Okay, here's an update on the truck. I've taken a lot of the panels that I've been working on off other than the hood. You've seen that in the last video that I did that. So now I'm moving on to the box. This part was really bad, this whole side. So I hammered and dollied some more. I actually had to make some cuts to bend things in right. And then you see this here. I've got a clamp. Yeah, you see these clamps here. They're just pipes that I welded on over this pipe to help hold this. And then over here. So in the previous video, when I was working on the box, this part of the box was hit and it was down. And I pulled it up, porta powers and all this other kind of crazy crap. I pulled this up to where it fit the side piece here, the support. Well, what had happened then is that this part was up also. So by clamping here and there, I used a bottle jack, clamped it on here, and I jacked it up against this chain and pulled this down. Now, it's not perfect, but I think it's close enough to where I can do a little fill here and there, and that'll be straight. But otherwise, the side of the box is relatively straight. I still got to work on these on both sides. But I did do this side over here. So this side over here is pretty well done for now. Then I'm got to take this box off so I can really work on the inside. And this part I've already done also. I just got to touch up a little bit of sealer, and then I'm going to primer fill this all. I got to clean this up yet. I'm not too worried about that. So, and then I got to do this one, and then like I say, then I'll take it off and I'll be able to do the inside of all that. So that's kind of the update on the truck so far. Back on the box, I didn't do much right here. What I did was here, all the way down there. As you can see, you can kind of tell if it's straight, you know, it's hard to see, but anyway, it's pretty straight. After I put some filler primer on there and stuff like that, and then I can fine tune it just in case there's just a small little spot in it, but I can't tell that there is right now. Anyway, that is where I'm going, and then I will do up underneath here next, and then I'll do these. I'll finish those up before I take the box off. And there we have it. Continuing on, this was my finished side, or somewhat finished side. The other side I do have more work done too. Over here, I also did, up here, that's straightened out a little bit better. There's still some sloppy crap over there, but I decided that I'm gonna take the box off anyway, so I can flip this around. And I don't know if I made a mistake on this or not, but I'm trying a new thing here. So here's the bolt to bolt the box down. I got all four corners. That's a 1/2 inch bolt, so it's pretty big. But you see the spacer there? That's really not a spacer. Those are sleeves. So meaning that the sleeve fits on the bolt with a tighter tolerance than a spacer. A spacer would be like a washer, it's a little loose. Well, these are sleeves, so they fit a little more snug. There's very little movement in them. I did this on 4 corners, and I don't know if I made a mistake on that, because I normally would put a pin in here, and then when you drop the box down, it lines up with a pin. But instead of trying to figure out how to drill straight in this small area, because I wanted one in this corner and one in the front corner over there, I decided that I was going to try the sleeve idea and let the bolt be my centering pin. Or I can use like a 1/2 inch just rod that I can stick up in there as I'm lowering the box down and kind of line it up and let it set down on that rod. The thing I may have made a mistake on is that I did all 4 corners. Now that's going to make it a lot harder to put this box on, but I'm going to try it. If not, I'll just cut those back off. But I think it'll be okay. It's just, like I said, it's just going to be a little bit more of a struggle. I did all 4 and welded this one up to see the sleeve. Same with inside there. You can hardly tell with that in there. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm going to take the box off and manipulate it so I can finish doing some of this body work. Got the box off. You can see over here, I got the truck over there. And now this is why I'm flipping it over. First off, it's easier to work on this, which I did this side already, but you can see there's still some of this rough stuff that's really close into here and here. You'll never be able to see that unless you really bent over and looked, but I want to kind of smooth that a little bit to kind of satisfy my own mind. And you can see here, this is the side that I have not primed yet. I'll be able to work on this now a lot easier. I'll be able to work on this and get this, when I welded this in, I can form this now a little bit easier. All the way down like that and like that. Anything that I need to do here, smooth some of this out, I can just do it just like that, along with getting this top of this, tube better, because I knew I got sloppy on this, on that side. So there you go. That is it. And as I continue on, here's what I did. You can see I took care of that area underneath. This is all smooth. I started sanding this here, which I had already done on this side, but this is why I say I'm doing preliminary body work, because as you can see when I sanded this, if you follow along, there's a little low spot right there. And you keep following along, a little low spot right there, maybe a little bit right there. So there's a lot of material on here, so I can sand a lot of this down, and a lot of it's going to come out. But when I decide to, when I'm going to do body work, I will get those little pieces filled there and then smooth those out. And then when I prime again, that should all be gone. It's easier to see after you start sanding it like this. But meanwhile, I really want to keep it in this raw state for now. That's why I'm calling it preliminary body work. This raw state, I want it to cure for several months before I really get on it. But anyway, as you can see, I actually took the gap and I filled that gap. It's very tight. So that's where I'm at so far. This is as far as I'm going to take this video, but as you can see, I've did this whole bottom here. I did the rail. Some of this I'm going to have to touch up just a little bit more to finish it out. And then these are pretty good all the way down here. Like I said, I just got to finish up a little bit of these. That's a lot of tedious handwork right through there. So anyway, this is in pretty good shape. I'm going to cut the video there. That gives you an idea on the box. Next time you'll see the box, it'll probably be all in primer, and I'll be working on something different. Alrighty then.